media team, but since we're social distancing and quarantining, our media team can't be here. They normally do all this stuff. But
a media team and an assistant and somebody to read the comments and
respond. But it's just the two of us now. This is quarantine life.
Got like 8 arms.
All right.
All right. So we are recording. You are good to go, Chef.
So let's start over, and now we're going to get going because we really are burning some minutes here. So my name is Chef Chad Cherry. My lovely wife, sous chef, IT person, Karen Fanny Cherry is the voice you hear behind the camera. She's going to slide over to get with all of us real soon. We are Chef Culture, and Chef Culture is an ecosystem for independent Black and brown culinary professionals. We get a question a lot, do we cater? And the answer is no. We are more so about the teaching, the education. We do a lot of live demos, some personal chef work, but we manage other culinary professionals that are in Chef Culture. So we have amazing chefs that can do everything for you. If you need any culinary needs, you want to get at us. So that is my intro, and I'm watering down because I want to get to the food. But babe, please tell them a little bit more.
Yeah, so like Chef Chad said, my name is Karen Fanny Cherry. We're so excited to have you in our living room. I know, like
living room studio. Look good, don't it? Look like we did this
like
for real.
We actually did this.
We planned this one.
And so we did this all for you, but we do this on a regular basis for a lot of corporate clients and nonprofits and that kind of thing. This is what we love. It's what we do. Teaching people how to live on a budget, how to eat healthier, how to combine different foods is what we do. So we're excited that you're here. We absolutely love the city of Miramar. We've worked with the city of Miramar many times before.
Over the years,
Over the last 10 years that we've been in business. But we especially love your city, its vibrancy, how much you're into placemaking for families, because we've been to a lot of outdoor events, how much you're into making sure that your residents are healthier, that they're safe. So thank you so much for what you do.
Yes.
So today, I mean, this is like the first demo. Hopefully,
for you guys.
Hopefully there'll be more.
There'll be a few more.
Yeah. So today, what we wanted to do was give them a recipe that was like budget friendly, right?
This is pretty budget friendly. I gotta say, this recipe, if you're using, we're gonna use salmon today, but you can use chicken. If you're using the salmon, I think under $25 for a family of 4 could work. Yeah. Right?
But we made sure that we gave your recipe. If you notice on the instructions that you got with your recipe, it said that this can be a completely vegetarian meal.
Yo,
right?
1000%. If you take this meal vegetarian, this thing is down
vegan?
to maybe $12. Yeah, absolutely. If it's vegetarian, yeah, because you're not using any animal products or anything. So you'll see, and we'll talk through those steps. This is meant to be fun and interactive. Like I was saying before, we're used to live audiences, so we're used to that energy, that feedback, that give and take.
This is a little unusual because I don't know if they're okay. Are you okay?
Y'all are good. Y'all are good.
Okay.
Man, drop comments. We will respond as we go. Ask questions. This is how we do it. And I see the chat is flashing a little bit. Good. Right. I love that.
So I'm gonna hop back over. You're gonna hear my voice. You're not gonna see me. I am wearing my chef coat, but I'm not really gonna be assisting today unless Chef needs me to grab something. But if you do have
jerk seasoning,
that was not super quiet.
It was quiet. No, they can't hear. It was quiet, man.
You need jerk seasoning. I got it.
Jerk. Not me, the real jerk. Not me though.
So if you have a question, put it down in the chat. I'm going to be helping Chef Chad. Like he said, normally this is a 5-man team for us to do these demos, and there's just the 2 of us, unless our children decide to pop out of their rooms.
We have to start because we're 6 minutes in, and we are on a strict time limit.
We're putting you on a time limit.
Yes. Huh? Okay. I got to go. I love you. I got to elbow you that way.
All right. Let's see how fast you can do this.
Welcome people once again. We're going to start with some of the first things you want to do in the kitchen, and that is first thing, especially if you're preparing food, is glove up. Okay?
What I was about to tell them, and you can absolutely say,
what's up?
Well, they can hear me.
Yeah.
Y'all just can't see me, but you can hear me.
Right. So I glove up first, and then I prepare my cutting board, and then I'm going to talk to you about mise en place. Now, normally I would have this done ahead of time, but I wanted to show you because this is an important trick. When you're working with a cutting surface, like a cutting board, you don't want it to move around too much. So what we do is I take wet paper towels. They're easy for everybody to get. Or you could take a wet rag, a kitchen rag if you have it, Just add just a little bit of water, right? Just a little bit. And this is going to help secure your cutting board. Keep it from sliding off, right? You don't want a cutting board that slides, and I know I hear that. Don't worry about it. We're good.
It's okay.
Okay,
Okay.
the next thing you want to do when you're starting any meal, any prep in the kitchen is what we call mise en place. That means everything in its place. So we've got all of our ingredients. Today we are doing a pineapple jerk salmon, right? So I'm excited about that because I get to eat it. The family gets to eat it as soon as we're done. And this pineapple jerk salmon is phenomenal. It's one of the things that we do everywhere. It's a winner all day, every day.
And
So
you can alternate with chicken, right?
no, absolutely. You can alternate with chicken. If you're vegan or vegetarian, listen, some portobello mushroom caps, some tofu, some of the Eve's meatless ground site, and there's so many different ways to do this. Oh, shrimp. Yo, some colossal shrimp, some prawns, or some jumbo scallops. Fire with this, all right? We've got our salmon ready. We have tomatoes. We have asparagus, because even though the recipe didn't call for something green, I always will have something green. We have our pineapple. I've got our onions. We've got our seasonings. I'm going to explain all of this as we go, but we have to jump right in. And the first thing you're going to do when you're cooking is you start with what takes the longest. So our side today is couscous. Now, I'm going to get into that, but I want to take a quick second. I saw the chat was popping. Are there any questions we should answer?
The chat's popping. Ooh, we got a welcome to Miramar. I'm excited for the dish.
What up, Miramar?
Thanks for adding the vegetarian component. We always try to add something vegetarian, right? For everything that we make, even if it was spaghetti and meatballs or something, you always try to include
always.
vegetarian option, right?
Y'all wouldn't know this, but in our family, my sister's vegan, so Thanksgivings are always vegan and regular, but we don't tell people what's what. We just put it out and let people eat. So we always cook.
Because we believe in incorporating
healthier,
and the vegetarian lifestyle.
And just to speak on that for 2 seconds, right? Like healthy, why we say healthier is because healthy, like it's a moving target. Anything we talk to you about being healthier, it comes from personal knowledge. I'm a type 2 diabetic, which is what got me into the kitchen and started cooking this way. I used to be much bigger, right? My wife and I, we've always struggled. Like, we've always been big people, so we've always struggled with weight and health. And so when we're talking about things, these are things that we know intimately, right? Like, we're not the guys that are like, hey, look at us, we're perfect, and this is how you do. No, we're like you. And we struggle with this on a daily basis. How do we feed our families? How do we interact? So we just want you to know that a lot of the tips, the things we'll talk about, come from that. So I'm going to keep going. Can you grab
and if you do have any questions, please go ahead and post them in the chat. There will be time afterwards to do like a little Q&A. And you guys can turn on your cameras and we can see your beautiful faces if you so choose. But go ahead and use the chat because I'm trying to monitor the chat and do the recording at the same time.
You're doing both. So what I'm doing is I'm getting ready for our couscous. Now, today we didn't want to do rice, right, which is a normal side for this. I would have loved to do quinoa, but I need an oven for quinoa. So we chose couscous, which is, it comes from North Africa. You see it a lot in Mediterranean dishes. You see it a lot in some Jewish dishes. This is our original couscous mix. I wanted you to see this packaging. If you go to the store and you want to buy this, buy couscous, make sure it's original. Here's the difference. The original mix, you get 10 ounces for about $2.39. They have flavored couscous, which those seasoning packets are terrible. So 86 those, but you only get 5.6 ounces. So less than half of the amount of couscous for the same price. Get the original, season it yourself, right? Couscous, my wife is going to tell you a little bit more about it. But couscous is a wheat product. It is a great substitute for rice, meaning it's going to be something that's a little healthier for you. So as you're stepping down from a lot of the white rice, which we do, it works. But just like rice, we have to season our water. So we're going to use some salt, refrigerator. We're going to use some salt. This is less than, because this is a small box of couscous, less than a teaspoon, right? You got to put your salt in your water. All right, that's every day. You know what we do. We're going to add some cilantro. I have some dried cilantro, which is perfect for water. Now, if you don't know, there are actually 2 types of cilantro. There's cilantro, and there's this cousin, culantro. So cilantro is what we always see on stuff, and cilantro is meant to be a garnish. You add that at the end of your meal. Cooking it really disrupts it. It doesn't make it good. The culantro, pineapple. The culantro is what you want to cook with. Culantro is longer, sturdier stalks. You cook with that, it makes it better. The flavor is actually enhanced. But with dried cilantro, because it has to rehydrate, we can sprinkle about a teaspoon of that right into our couscous. And the last thing we're going to do is add some roasted garlic, right? So this is one of my favorite seasonings. I like using blends. As a chef, I would have 20 seasonings up here. I'd be picking from this and that and this and that. I don't want to show you that. So I wanted to use the roasted garlic. Any seasoning that I use is going to have less than 15% of the daily value of sodium. So I'm going to get into that later, but right now, just time is going, so we have to keep going as well. Add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, right? We're going to bring this to a boil, right? We'll cover it, bring it to a boil, we'll come back to that. While that is working, it is time for us to start our sauce, which is the star of this dish.
So while you start working on the sauce, right? I am going to. Do you want to let's talk to them very quickly about knives? Okay. What?
Listen, man.
Just because you with your Miramar fam, you think it's okay for that? Oh, okay.
This is the fam for real.
The fam does not want to see you ninjaing with your knives.
I think they do. If you do, in the chat, can I get a hand up to say, yo, chef, with the knife ninja, we like it. I just know, we just trying to see what kind of crowd it is. Like I said, we're used to live audience.
You're trying to see if we're more male or female or.
Well, I think, everybody likes a little knife ninja work.
Oh, yep. Okay. All right, fine. All right, go ahead, chef. Sharpen your knife, man.
Oh,
sharpen your knife.
I get to have fun.
Yes, you get to have fun because clearly I've been overruled.
See, so let me show you, right? This knife has a nice sheath. There's a little sharpening blade in, so every time I go in and out, it sharpens my knife. But you always keep a honing steel. And when you're sharpening, you're doing this, right? It's a little motion. And you always want to sharpen your knife before you cook.
You gotta go, ninja. All right.
Okay. So sharpen knives, have them ready. My water is boiling. Let's add in our couscous.
And while you add in that couscous, I do want to talk about the benefits of couscous, right?
Please,
so
let me know.
one of the reasons why we chose couscous is because couscous is made from the best part of wheat, right? And so it's full of just great things that help our bodies to.
Can you show them what this looks like a little bit? Ignore the box top. I just want to show you what some of the couscous looks like raw, right? And then we'll stir that right in. And if you could smell that cilantro and that garlic coming up, oh my gosh.
Just like little grains right there, right? It's beautiful yellow.
Yes.
So it actually helps to boost your immune system. It's got a lot of antioxidants that fight inflammation. There have been studies that have been done that says that it reduces our chances for cancer.
It is the selenium.
Right? Specifically the selenium.
Specifically selenium.
Right. So, chef,
that's a vital. That's what they call a micronutrient. And in America, we are the fattest, most nutrient deficient country in the world. So hear that out, right? Back in the day, they used to show us starving Africans and talk about how you got to eat because there's someone somewhere else that's starving, right? That's what my mom told me. Boy, you better finish that plate. There's someone starving in the world. In America, we eat. That's not our issue. But we don't get enough nutrients because everything we eat is processed and brown. So nutrients and micronutrients are things that are essential to our diet. Selenium is found in couscous because couscous is the germ of the wheat. So that gives you what you need.
Awesome.
So I'm going to cover this couscous.
So we had a question.
I'm turning it off. That's it. Put it in. Stir, turn off.
We have a couple of questions, chefs, that I want to get to while you start the sauce. So number one, someone said that they were today years old when they learned what that stick was for, that you were sharpening your knife with. So congratulations, we've learned something already. That is what we strive for. And then we had a question about basmati brown rice. Somebody asked if the couscous is better than basmati brown rice, and I think I will take that.
Better in which way?
And the thing is, what we try to do is make sure that we stay away from the white, right? The white rice, the white flour. So, but we still need a variety in our diet, right? So having that couscous, having the basmati brown rice. Nope. Listen, City of Miramar. I had a conversation with Chef Chad. Right before. Listen, right before we hit start, I said, "Don't juggle."
I'm good at it, y'all. Look, I gotta have tricks, man. We do live demos all the time. I gotta have something. But you were talking about the basmati rice. Go for it. While she's doing that, because I have to specifically show you how to cut the onion and the pepper, I'm just gonna clean our salmon. So we got the fresh, not frozen salmon. This is already cut in pieces, so that's beautiful. But we're still going to, do what we do. And that is, we're gonna go ahead and clean this salmon a little bit. So if you notice, I put on an extra layer of gloves. I'm going to show you why in a second. Because you want to be real careful when you're dealing with salmon. And I'm going to pull out another knife. Because I've already handled the salmon. And I'm just going to cut this.
Which you never want to do because you never want to cut in your hand.
Don't cut in the air. I'm just trying to make sure I do not cross-contaminate anything. Please don't cut in the air.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my knife. My thing.
So the basmati brown rice is a great addition. I mean, brown rice in general is a great addition to your diet, especially if you like rice. And if you're like me and you're Caribbean, rice is a big part of our diet. And we want to make sure that we, even when we're trying to be healthier, that we eat culturally relevant food, right? Because it ties us to our family. It gives you all those, when they talk about comfort foods, right? Comfort food, it's different for each person depending on how you grew up. So when you're talking about creating a healthier diet, you want to incorporate culturally relevant food. And if rice is a culturally relevant food for you, if that's what your family eats, then we just try to find some options that are healthier, like the couscous, like the basmati brown rice, that kind of thing.
To give you it's a start, right? We're walking down a path. And with the salmon, all I did was I squeezed a little fresh lemon on it, whether it's chicken, especially if it's chicken, right? We're going to use some lemon, some vinegar. We're going to wash it off a little bit. With the salmon, just squeeze a little fresh lemon. I just call it superstition, whatever. I just believe that it kills whatever surface germs are on there.
So we're getting a lot of questions on the chat, Chef Chad. And the question is that pearl couscous?
No, pearl couscous is the larger. Pearl couscous is known as Israeli couscous. It's a larger couscous. Okay, this is not pearl couscous.
And it's a little chewier, right?
Because it's a little nuttier. Yeah, a little chewier.
Okay.
That couscous that I just used. And by the way, it is literally done that quick, right? That couscous is what you find. Like I said, that's more of the North African type of couscous. But I want to jump into just cutting an onion real quick and cutting the pineapple. That's going to take 2 seconds, then I'll be right back with fielding questions. Just keep myself honest with this time right here. So if you notice, this is round. We never want to work with round things. This is not the chef way. This is, to me, the easiest way. You're going to start by cutting your butts off, right? You cut your butts off, okay? So it's flat to stand up, and then cut it in half. Go ahead and discard the butts and discard the whole first layer. Now, for all my old school people out there, like my mom, who will be yelling at me about throwing away this first layer, you can go ahead and you can use those layers for stocks. If you want to make a vegetable stock or you want to start a soup, you don't have to throw that away. You can use everything. Once your onion is flat, we're going to do a dice. What you're going to do is you're going to come down, right? And I'm just using my fingers to guide me because I'm going all the way through. So you did that lengthwise. Now rotate it. Just come right back down. Now we're holding the onion. When you get to the end, don't try to cut the narrow piece. Flip it down flat. Give yourself the largest surface area to work with. Right? Largest surface area. Okay? So that's onion. Take the back of your blade, sweep it. I'm going to show you one more time just to make sure we got it. Why is this onion falling apart on me? That's all right. It does that.
Being rebellious.
It always is. Just cut down lengthwise, and I'm moving quickly. I'm going to put up a post, about a 10-minute video on how to cut onions, how to cut pineapples, because with this, we got to move a little quickly, right? You just want to shave it. When you get to that end, go ahead and cut it down. At this point, we're going to turn on our skillet. We never, ever, 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 ever want to cook with a cold skillet, y'all. Never, ever, ever, ever. Huh? This, gotcha. Never cook with a cold skillet. Turn that on. Let's let that get hot, right? And our onions are gonna go in, and we're gonna work with our pineapple. But while our onions are getting ready to go in to give us space, this is why I like flexible cutting boards. Lift that up, brush that into a bowl. Let's move that over. Let's now work on our pineapple. So
Chef,
yes.
as you say that, we have somebody who said that they're trying to do a high protein diet, very low carbs. Any suggestions on substitutes? So interestingly, if you didn't say that you were trying to do low carb and you were just trying to do a high protein diet, I've still recommended the couscous, because the couscous is actually a good protein.
Vegetable protein. Yeah.
Right. It's a good protein. But if you're trying to stay low carb, chef, what can we do instead of the couscous with this particular dish? I mean, it's so versatile.
Yeah, I mean, use a
grain,
right? So instead of a carb, use a grain, quinoa maybe, but you can literally go. I mean, look, go with veggies. I'm gonna
can't ever go wrong with vegetables.
I'm gonna put asparagus down, but you could have went with like spinach and carrot, right? Spinach and carrot, squash, zucchini. Just double up your veggies. Just do different types, and then add in a little more protein. You're good to go. So that's it. Substitute. Take out the couscous.
Ooh, a good buttered lettuce. So like the salmon, if you did the salmon with the sauce on top, with inside of a buttered lettuce. Oh my gosh, lettuce wrap. That's gonna be really good.
Pineapple jerk taco kind of thing. Lettuce wrap.
That is good.
So with your pineapples, when you're selecting, you want to know your pineapples are ripe, right? What you want to do is you want to get it close and smell it. The color will tell you. If it's starting to brown, it's ready, right? But smell it. Take the head, hold it in your hand, and pull that top off, right? What we're looking for smell-wise is we're looking for a very pineapple-y smell, okay?
Pineapple-y, chef?
Pineapple-y. Beautiful word. Trust me.
Pineapple-y?
Pineapple-y.
Is it in the dictionary?
Smell very pineapple-y. It's in my dictionary.
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is still round, so it has to get flat, y'all. So we're going to start by cutting this in half, okay? So we have 2 flat halves. Now here, you're also going to cut your butts off. Top, bottom, okay? Cut your butts off. Top, bottom. Now I know we've seen professional chefs cut pineapples where they shave down the sides and they do all that stuff. That is so much more difficult. Here's the easier way. Now you have these here, and my skillet is just about hot, so we're almost ready.
I have it on my rig. 550 something.
Can we get you to mute your phone?
Yes. Now that you have them here,
back from someone.
Cut it in half one more time. Okay. So cut it in half one more time. Okay. And now we have 4 individual pieces. We have to get rid of this bad boy, the core. So stand it up. Take the tip of your knife. Take that core right out of there, right? Tip of your knife. Take that core right out of there. Okay? Same thing on all 4 pieces, right? If you notice, we are doing very similar movements all at the same time.
So interestingly, somebody said that they've been cutting their pineapple wrong the whole time. But is there a right way and a wrong way, or is it
necessarily wrong? It's just about speed and safety, right? I prefer this way because to me it's faster, and if you're not really super comfortable with the knives, it's also quicker. It's also safer.
So she said she's been working too hard to cut her pineapple.
Yeah, real talk.
That's the thing.
When you're shaving that whole side and you're spinning and shaving, boy, you working hard as crap. I'm gonna show you what is the beautiful part of this, because we have to get this away from the skin. I'm using a chef knife, which has a tip, hand flat. Insert the tip, and use the tip and just spin. Your hand is flat, right? Like you're spinning a dish. Use the tip and just spin. Hold on, I got in there too deep. And it comes right out. I'm gonna show you one more time, y'all. So once again, hand flat, use the tip, and I'm spinning. Keep your hand flat so you don't cut your hand. And it comes right out of there. Now, for all my people, I know how we do. Go ahead, you can take these, you can boil them in the water, and you can make a tea, because we don't waste anything, right? Especially nowadays. But I was telling you about my hot skillet. This skillet is just about smoking hot. That's what you want. You want a very, very hot skillet. Add just a little bit of oil, I keep my oil in the squeeze bottle so that I don't ever use too much. Now add your onions in. Now, if you don't hear that sizzle, you didn't do it right. So the onions are going to start working while we finish up these pineapples. Right? Tip in, turn and spin. Right? And I'm moving just a little bit faster because I know time is going. Believe it or not, though, we already have one thing done. Our sauce is almost ready. And then we have the two quickest things, which are our salmon and our asparagus. So we are still on track, and I love it. Now, if you have your pineapples here, right, we're just going to cut lengthwise. Right? We're just going to cut them. So once again, lengthwise, turn, and you lean with it, rock with it, right? You just come through with the knife. I always tell people, knife cutting is not about chopping. It's just about, it's a lean and a rock. It's a rhythm that you get, man. And as you'll work with me, as we do more videos, we'll talk about how to really cut, right? How to really use the knife, how to really get comfortable with this. And that right there will save you so much time and money when you know that you are comfortable with your knives and you're not paying someone to do prep for you. My gosh, it's amazing. So, pineapple's done. How do I know if my pineapple is sweet enough, family? How do I know?
I don't know. How do you know?
Oh, of course, my favorite way. Okay, those pineapples are excellent. Now, we're gonna add the pineapple right on top, okay? I had a little bit of a skin on this one. We're gonna pull that off. Add the pineapples right on top. And we have our last ingredient, which is our tomatoes. So just wipe the cutting board a little bit. That excess pineapple juice is good for our tomatoes.
Can we use another, I wanted to know, can you use another fruit for this food?
Oh my
Someone
gosh.
has an allergy to pineapple.
Mango, peach, any fruit
yeah.
you want. I love the vibrancy of pineapple and I love the tang, right? But mango.
Somebody
peach,
said, ooh, mango. Yeah.
Tell you, yo, listen, fire with the mango.
So kind of a more solid fruit though, right? Because I wouldn't want to use watermelon.
No. You need something that's going to hold up the cooking to the heat process.
Okay.
So you definitely need a solid, drier fruit. That's
So
why I
maybe
said
like a
mango.
sturdier melon, like a.
Yeah. I mean, if you really like melons, I guess you could use like a honeydew or something, but honeydew would have to be added last, right?
Got
so
it.
it would have to be onions, some tomatoes, and just the center of honeydew or something.
Got it. Okay.
But honeydew will be fire with
Yeah.
a melon bowl. I'm just thinking about presentation. Don't
Yeah.
mind me, y'all.
And I'm allergic to pineapples actually. I can only eat pineapples this way. I can only eat them if they're cooked.
Oh gosh. You know what I meant to do?
Start your salmon.
No, I was gonna cook the I'm gonna start my salmon, but I meant to cook this in the wok.
Ah,
All
you're
right, so
gonna
we're
show
gonna transfer. I'm gonna get my wok hot.
Someone said melon, yuck.
I know, but
I know it's
it would be
weird.
pretty.
I
don't know if
mean,
I would.
it's a good question to ask, and you know we are always proponents of experimenting with food.
Yeah.
Try different things, see what works and see what doesn't work. It's kind of like science experiments, right? And especially if you have children at home, that is something that we did want to say before we ended our time today, is if you have kids at home and they're driving you bananas, or they're not driving you bananas and you just want to spend time with them.
Oh, I'm driving my kids bananas. They ain't getting me, I'm getting them.
Whatever.
Anytime.
Get them involved in the kitchen. There's some very, very simple and easy things that they can do in the kitchen as well, and it helps them to sort of eat better by getting them involved. So then I have a question about cauliflower.
I like cauliflower. I
Can you
love
use this with cauliflower rice?
Now that is for my lady who was asking about protein and carbs. Absolutely. Can I tell you the trick though? Do not buy frozen cauliflower rice, okay? Smoking hot. That's what I meant. Sorry, I just want to show you. White hot, smoking
I
hot.
can see that.
When it looks like this pan is about to catch fire, that's what you need. Let's go ahead and do a quick transfer. Woo! I love it. All right. That's why I love wok. See that right there? That's why I love wok. Okay, I'm still gonna let this pan get a little hotter. But my flame is dying down, which means I need to change my fire source real quick. So give me 2 seconds, y'all. All right. So back to the cauliflower. What you want to do is buy a whole head of cauliflower, take the stalk off the bottom, get a cheese grater, and grate the cauliflower. That's going to give you the best cauliflower rice. That the frozen cauliflower rice does not compare in any way, shape, or form. Now let me tell you briefly about these tomatoes. Round things. I cut the top off. I slice it down. Right. So we're going to make 4 slices. I lay those down flat. We're going to cut into those the long way, right?
And that would be why you need a super sharp knife, right? Because you're slicing through that tomato like butter, and I've seen people try, and they're squeezing all the juice out of the tomato.
All of it, but it's also the technique. I'm not cutting straight down. I'm cutting on a bias. So a little bit of a slant. That slant is what allows your knife to really grip it, right? And I'm starting from the back, I'm going forward, and I'm pulling back through, and it just really goes through this super well, super well, right? We're done. Now I'm gonna finish the sauce, and we're gonna take our asparagus off, and then we are ready for our salmon. Uh-oh, that pan is smoking hot. So what does that mean? It means it's time to go, asparagus. Okay, you know what? Ain't nobody got time for all that. Yeah, man. Ain't nobody got time for opening the bag the right way. Who does that anyway? I have a knife in the kitchen. All right. I know time is running. We're quick. On your asparagus, cut off the bottom of the stalks. We don't need those. They're stringy. They're chewy. We don't want them. They've got to go. Hit your skillet. Just a little bit of oil. Right? Drop them in. Let those start. Let's drop our tomatoes in over here. Right? Now, seasoning time. Come back to roasted garlic, which, like I said, has very, very low sodium. Okay? And I do want to point out something, because the skillet was so hot, it gives me a sear. You can see that sear on that.
Pretty.
Pretty. You want that color. Get this garlic in here. We're going to use an adobo. Now, when you're seasoning, you want to season from high. You do not want to season from low. So what that means is you do 1 sweep forward and 1 sweep back. Let me show you. Forward and back, right? Forward and back. And you're not getting a lot out of there. So what you can do is, if you feel like it's not enough seasoning, you can come back to do a little bit more. On my asparagus, I felt like I got very, very little, so we're going to do 1 more for that one, right? Now, I'm not worried about the pineapple jerk so much as far as how much or how little seasoning I got, because my main ingredient right here, this is the jerk, right? Now, Miramar, we are not going to get into a discussion about which jerk is better, Miramar. I represent Grace, okay? Don't come to me about the Walker's Wood business, JCS, Grace, okay? Miramar, I know how y'all go.
Wait a minute.
I'll fight.
The children have to eat it. So
Okay. She said the picky did.
the 7-year-old has to eat it.
All right, so I put it.
Be gentle. Oh,
Put a touch. You gotta touch it.
listen, Miramar, let me tell you about this quarantine life with Chef Chad Cherry, okay? Oh, yep, we got a Walker's Wood all day.
What? See, I told you not to.
You knew it was gonna happen.
Right,
I knew it was gonna happen.
Somebody wanted to know which one this is.
Can you show them that's the Grace? You hear me? That's the Grace.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I'm a little biased. So
Great.
we're gonna let our sauce cook down a little bit. You see it? It's coming together. It's looking beautiful. Let that cook down a little bit. Turn your heat down. Okay, your asparagus is very fast. Okay, I'm gonna add 1 last seasoning. This is a cilantro lime.
Only the best. Somebody said only the best. Great. And somebody else wanted to know, is it super spicy? So
that one is very spicy.
This one's super spicy because it's the hot, but they do have like a mild, and they have I think they have mild, medium, and hot, And then they have wet jerk, which this is, and they have dry jerk seasoning as well.
But I want to talk about that though. So we cook it like this because traditionally, if this is a traditional Caribbean recipe, I would have jerked the fish. I would have rubbed the jerk sauce on the salmon. But I'm trying to be better because I have a lot of Americans that can't handle the heat. And I'm calling us out, Americans, right? Can't handle the spice.
Y'all know eat spice like y'all know eat spice like Caribbean.
Nah, we ain't got it right. So what we do, I'm gonna remove some of this. There's a little bit of char in here. We're gonna get rid of that real quick, right? We're still gonna turn this back on because our salmon's going in. So what I did was you put the spice into the chutney, which is what the onions and this is called the chutney technically. And then that way you put a little bit on, so there's a touch of heat, but it's not overpowered, right?
Oh, and then your guests can put on or keep off as much as they want.
And in that way, if you're feeding a family, if you got someone in the family who can't do it, you got someone who does, you're good to go. My salmon's about to go in. Since I'm gonna work with the salmon one more time and I'm gonna pick it up, I'm gonna go with my double glove. Remember y'all, double glove love, right? If you're working with something raw, you have to avoid cross-contamination. So instead of taking off these gloves, which is really hard to do, and put on a new pair, I just go ahead and double up real quick. And look, you see, I talk about hard to do, and I'm having trouble putting on my gloves. Are y'all laughing at me through the screen?
I'm laughing. I wasn't gonna say anything.
I know how to put gloves on sometimes.
I don't want to call you out.
Whatever. We're gonna spray this. We have a non-stick cooking spray, and you're gonna spray that liberally. And when you're gonna cook something like salmon, you go presentation side down first. Now, I did not season the salmon. So hit it with a little bit of the cilantro lime right on top, right? And you can season, you can have fun with this. This is very low sodium. And just a little bit of the adobo, right? Come on, why is that stuck in there? Sorry, sometimes it gets stuck. Just a little bit. Yeah, it's all good. We'll hit it again if you can do that off camera. Now, presentation side is this side. Presentation side down first. Okay? While this side is down, what you're going to do is we're going to season the back side. Okay? All right, so apparently my small size adobo is thickened, so we're going to use the big size. I like adobo because it has no MSG.
The Goya brand.
The Goya adobo. And we're going to just season the top. Just a touch, right? Take off. This glove is what touched the salmon. Take that off. In the kitchen, we use what's called wet hand, dry hand. So wet hand is going to be the contaminated hand. Dry hand is going to be non-contaminated. That way you can move. But I don't take any chances of contamination. So we just move both of those gloves. This salmon is going to tell me when it's ready. Okay? My sauce is ready. My couscous is ready.
The salmon's going to talk to you?
Oh my God. Don't you know food talks to me all day?
Okay.
Right? What I mean by tell you when it's ready is the edges of the salmon are going to start to get white on the bottom, just like a chicken, right? Just the edges, right? So these edges are going to start to get white. And this salmon, oh my gosh, I set off my own smoke detector. I haven't done that in a while, y'all. Baby, get a book. It's right there. That's my bad. That's my bad, y'all. See, this is how you know we're cooking live. Y'all are laughing at me now. I get it. Pull it down, babe. You can't. I'm too short. Are you? Okay. I'm gonna turn that down. I can't turn it off. She's gonna get that in a second. I'm so sorry, y'all. Maybe you gotta. Okay. I don't want to leave from behind the table to turn that off. Huh? It's not that one. It's that one.
No, it's that one.
Can you fan? Okay. Okay.
So I have to apologize because today was a funny day. Normally we're outside. So we created a studio outside on our balcony, which is where we normally film our classes. But just when we were getting ready to start, our maintenance people came and started mowing the grass.
Yes. Now,
So we brought everything inside for y'all,
now I'm gonna flip my salmon.
but we're good.
So
I
when
opened
I
the door.
said the salmon will talk to you, did you see how easily, keep fanning, you don't need to keep fanning. You see how easily I was able to lift it up? If you have to fight with it, it's not ready, okay? So, the top of that salmon was raw, so we're gonna take that off, right? We're gonna keep searing this. Look at how beautiful that is. Look at how beautiful that is. Now, I'm gonna show you one last trick on the salmon, and then we're gonna finish our plating so we can take a bite and answer questions. You had a question.
Yeah. I had a question. I wanted to let them know about, so if they're doing this in their own home, right, and they're searing it, do they have to do this outside? Because I know when we talk about the difference,
Your kitchen has a vent.
Yeah.
Your kitchen has a vent fan. We're doing this not in our kitchen, so the vent fan isn't working.
Yeah, but what I wanted to get to was cooking techniques for chefs, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll get a recipe from a chef and you'll follow the recipe exactly the same, but it won't come out. You're like, oh man, this, the way that this restaurant made it or the way that this chef made it wasn't the same thing. So I wanted to talk about cook techniques just for a second, right?
Okay. So what I just did is I seared this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Smoking hot pan is a technique that every chef uses and is absolutely crucial. Okay, that your pan is smoking hot. What that means though is you're going to create a lot of smoke and people in your family are going to accuse you of trying to burn them out. It's okay. That's that flavor you need. If you notice, that's why I said presentation side down, the crust. Look at the crust on that. Look at how crusty that is. That's the presentation side. This bottom half doesn't have to have this crust. So what we're going to do to help with the bottom half is we're going to add a little bit of water.
Which is gonna set this off again.
Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry and sorry. The water is mandatory, right? If you put salmon in an oven, you're going to cook it all the way through. I don't have it in an oven, so I need to make sure it is done. So the water is going to create steam that's going to go into the salmon and make sure that it's cooked all the way through because I don't want to feed my family raw salmon, right? And you notice how quickly that water evaporates, okay? So our salmon is almost done. Our couscous is done, right? We are ready. At this point, we can turn the salmon off, right? And just let the residual heat, let it rest. Carryover heat is going to continue to cook it. I'm going to tell you something. When you're cooking salmon in the oven, you notice it has those little white things that come out of it, like you see like these little white lines. That white stuff that you see is called albumin. Albumin is a protein that comes from the salmon that lets you know that it is done. It's finished.
So I've been to some restaurants where we order salmon and it's not cooked all the way through. Like it's kind of like,
in the restaurant world, chefs want pork tender salmon. They want salmon that's pink on the inside a little bit, almost done. I don't want that. I like done salmon. I like finished, cooked salmon, you're dead, right? That's what I like. So
and then that limits any kind of bacteria or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to talk about that too much, but I'm going to tell you this. If you're going out and you're getting seafood, make sure it is cooked all the way. Now, while this is resting, let's answer some questions to keep us on track. Yeah, we like cooked fish.
So
Don't give me no raw fish.
we gotta, it's okay, quarantine life. Listen,
this is not ever an issue I thought we would have to deal with. But just the two of us doing a demo that takes a 5-person team, woohoo, we did it.
Yeah. And then somebody else, if you learned something new today, they usually bake their salmon, but they like this technique. Yeah, this is a good technique.
You can't beat that crust. The flavor from that crust is something serious. And
then we got Charnel said she doesn't usually make salmon, but she can't cook it correctly. Aww. So now you know how to do it. Try it and let us know.
Try this, and I'm going to tell you with the baking it is great. Bake it for about 10 minutes to 10 to 15 minutes on a hot oven, 425, 450. pull it out, let it rest. Like I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
We're not touching it. Let it rest for a second.
Got it. And then somebody said, oh, I feel bad because I told my husband about smoking up the kitchen.
Listen, we
Are
have
you going to
this.
tell them about
I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them because they are family and they have right to know. But I mean, I really shouldn't complain though.
Because what did you say after you ate it?
You're right. All
What did
right.
you
So
say?
last night, Chef Chad made me
New
New
York
York
strip.
strip steak.
Beautiful steak.
Yeah, so he made me a New York strip steak, and I was
Some
complete.
fresh macaroni and cheese shells.
Yes, macaroni
right?
and
Like
cheese
in a
shells.
white mac and cheese.
Yes, and I got
And
broccoli,
Yup.
but the broccoli was
Garlic
like I like it, where it's like charred on one side. And so I complained for the duration of him cooking because I was like, I can't breathe. You're choking me in
She
here.
was talking big junk.
I was
She
talking
was
big.
talking big
I
junk.
was talking big junk until then I ate it and I was like, oh my gosh, it's the best meal I've ever had.
She's literally over there eating it like,
I was singing. I was definitely singing.
Let's see. We also got, oh, we're doing a great job. It feels very personal.
Thank
We
you.
absolutely, whenever we do this, we try to make people feel like they are here with us, or like they're a part of our demo, because
They are part of our family. Now, I'm going to show you something. I'm a chef, and this still happens. Your salmon may break, right? Especially on the thicker cuts, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide this spatula underneath. If you own a fish spatula, that would be the one that you would want to use. Okay? That's looking good, right?
Yeah.
Now let's go ahead. Let's
someone
get some of
wants to
that
know
sauce.
if you cook on the grill as well.
Oh my gosh. Y'all don't want to see your boy on the grill. I get real happy on the grill right there.
All right, Mr. Cocky.
Sorry, I love grill work, and it's annoying me about this quarantine because we live in an apartment complex, so I can't really grill like I want to.
I mean, there is
Oh,
a grill by the pool, but now that's closed as well.
Okay, you know what? I do have a little hibachi grill. You're making me think of it. It's a small tabletop grill, and maybe if we can get another demo, we can talk about grilling. I can use a little hibachi. So we got to talk to the powers that be at Miramar to see if we can get another beautiful demo going.
Somebody wants to know, let's see. Oh, you want to taste it? Listen, I wish we could feed you as well. When this quarantine lifts or whatever, we could definitely talk about a taste test. Why are you wearing gloves to cook, Chef Chad?
Oh, I wear gloves to cook all the time. Safety and sanitation. Like I treat my home kitchen like my kitchen for work, and I always wear gloves to cook. They say you only have to wear gloves when you're preparing ready to eat stuff. Don't care. I wear gloves anytime I'm preparing food, ready to eat or not. It's just my personal preference. You don't have to, but I do this. This is how I cook for my family.
Yeah. And then.
And I'm gonna get this going. Come
Oh,
on, baby.
what
You
a
wanna show them?
sample. I wish we could.
Oh, you gotta show them the plate. Get it close up in there so they can see that thing.
Look at that.
Ooh. And I'm so sorry for this humble brag, but we are actually about to eat this. This
Which
is
is
going down.
interesting because normally we do demos and we don't get
to eat
anything. This is super weird. Let's see.
That's the one benefit of the quarantine time.
Oh, somebody wants us to deliver. I wish we could.
Yeah, we haven't done I haven't done really many meals for quarantine. I am trying to work with a city in Miami to see about doing some daily meals with folks down there in a larger quantity, take a bunch of chefs down. If that's something Miramar is interested in, we can talk about it, because I know there are people that really need to eat, and meals like this are not super expensive. We may not do it with salmon, but we can give people really good food really cheap, and we know there's people out there that need to eat. So
We have 8 minutes to go through some questions, Chef.
Okay, questions, fire, rapid fire. I'm
Do you
ready.
use a reduction method when you're cooking your steaks?
You mean for a sauce? Or for... So when I think of a reduction method, I'm thinking of a sauce, right? Because we reduce the sauce and you reduce it down till you get really thick glaze or really, really smooth sauce. I don't do that for steaks, right? What I do is I make a brine. Actually, I'm lying, because I'll make a brine which is what you sit your steaks in to season. Then I will sear them and put them in the oven. Once the steaks go in the oven, I'll pour the brine into the skillet and I'll reduce that down so I do get kind of a sauce sometimes for it. So yes and no, it just depends on the day.
All right, so they're asking if you would deliver, and delivery to city employees specifically.
Well. Listen, y'all asking the wrong person. I don't have a yay or nay on that one. I cook. You got to talk to the lady that you can't see on the camera about who's delivering where. Any of my married men out there, y'all understand we are decision makers on some things, but not on a lot of other stuff. So,
yes, like our S&J catering. If S&J listen, so I forgot to say about chef culture and what we do and all that good stuff. But if S&J Catering is a great catering company, please drop their contact in the comments, because we always like to know good catering companies in the cities.
we have so many independent catering companies, independent chefs, all black and brown. We can definitely drop some names for you.
Somebody wanted to know, didn't you do that some years ago? That's actually how we started.
So for my Miramar long-term employees, I used to be in your lobby selling lunch. I did that for a few months live in the lobby selling lunch every single day, right?
Hold on.
What?
It's fine.
Okay. So I used to be in the lobby of Miramar City Hall selling lunch. When I was first starting, I mean, back in the day, Vice Mayor Alexander Davis was the one who brought me in back in the day.
Yeah.
And I would literally be in the lobby. And I've also done this. I do Jerk Fest every year. So if you come to Jerk Fest, you may have seen this recipe. This recipe is a long time recipe. It's been with us for a while. It always is a winner.
Oh,
but we have hundreds more.
Sad. It said, then you left us.
It wasn't my fault. I didn't want to leave y'all. Like I said, I love Miramar, but you know, it's
And now our
we
work
grow, right?
now
We
our
do
work
different things.
is now we're doing food policy and we're doing
we're in other states. We're really working on how do we impact food deserts, right? How do we make sure that we heal our people through food? Because the real impact of a food desert, it is a shame that some people can't eat, but it is also more of a shame that people are eating and getting sick because they're eating poor food. So the work we're doing doesn't allow us to do as much of the personal touch, although when we get out of quarantine, I'm trying to touch everybody. So if Miramar wants us to come in one day, we'll come in one day, right? Just to do a pop-up, just because we really have to go everywhere. Like, after we get out the house, we got to go everywhere. So Miramar, if y'all want us to come in for a day pop-up, we can come and do a chef culture pop-up right in the city.
All right, so, somebody said they missed those days. We got a congratulations on doing a 5-man teamwork with 2 people.
Yo, fist bump. You see it.
Yeah.
Y'all don't even know. Hold on. Does the studio look good? Look, we are ready.
Oh my gosh, so many comments. I love Miramar.
See this? See this? We were trying. We hit look.
Oh, thank you, Charnel. Charnel shared the contact for S&J Catering. Amazing.
Thank you. And I know y'all have seen the Fresco logo. Fresco is a part of Winn-Dixie, Southeastern Grocers. They are a huge supporter of chef culture. When all of this dies down, we tend to send chefs to each Fresco and Winn-Dixie to do live demos, cooking demonstrations. So that's why if you're wondering why we're logoed there.
Yeah. And we didn't say that chef culture is an ecosystem that we've created for black and brown independent culinary professionals.
We have right about 300 affiliated members.
8 chapters.
8 chapters. So
5 chapters in
Florida. 1 in Baltimore, 1 in Atlanta, Georgia, 1 in Louisville, Kentucky. So 8 chapters in total. We were growing before this quarantine, but now we kind of bringing it back. After this, we'll probably expand out to a couple of the cities.
So if you know any black or brown culinary professionals, small businesses, or independents that
need support, guidance, love, right? Need to know they're not alone. Tell them about chef culture. And babe, you got to answer a question. I've been doing all the talking.
You're doing great.
She see how she want me to. She want to put me on. Y'all see this? Y'all are witnessing this.
You're doing great. You're doing great. All right. So we've got. Let's see. I'm not a fan of seafood, but I'm excited to make this for hubby. Thank you so much for this informative demo. Real quick, Chef Chad, how do you do the chicken? The same way that you did the salmon?
Yes. So you're gonna sear chicken. Chicken takes a lot longer to cook, right? So what I would advise is put your chicken in the freezer so that it's almost frozen, not frozen, y'all. Almost frozen, and then slice it thin. The reason for that is chicken is squirmy. If it's colder, it's so much easier to cut, right? So slice it thin and then just do more pieces of it. It'll make it quicker, because if not, if you try to cook a whole chicken breast this way, you're gonna be there 25, 30 minutes and you're not gonna char, you're gonna burn.
And then the last thing I would say is, because we've got like 2 minutes, our contact. If you want to keep up with us and what we have going on and the work that we do with small businesses, with independence, with fighting food deserts, with getting our communities healthier, please follow Chef Culture on social media.
Chef Culture with a K.
Chef Culture with a K. We named it. So Chef for Chad, which is C, and K Culture for Karen.
Yes.
That's so that you can remember. So you can search Chef Culture on all social media contacts.
Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah.
And if you, because you guys are a city, if you have vital information that is good for our community, for our culinary professionals, please share it. We will put it on Chef Culture. We want to know. If you look at most of our posts nowadays, it is that kind of information. We're talking about where can people get food. We're talking about economic stimulus plans. We're talking about stuff that people need, because these are the small businesses that really deserve that money. That's who Chef Culture really works with. And then those businesses are servicing our community, so they need that help.
And then someone wants to know if the video link is going to be available soon. Absolutely. We recorded this, and so yeah, we were smart this time. How many times did it take us to actually get here?
Because we normally do Wednesday videos lives, and we'll have 3 cameras working just trying to figure it out. This time we're down to like 2.
Yeah, which is good. It's good. We got it. So yeah, as soon as this is over, I know it takes a second for the recording to do what a recording does.
But you just release it, right? Because it was a Zoom, so
yeah.
it should be okay.
So yeah, it should be simple.
And we'll make sure Chanel, right? We'll make sure she gets
absolutely.
it. And any more questions you have, just because our time is running out, I'm still standing here. We can ask more questions. We just want to be respectful of the actual class time. And if you have something more in detail, please email us directly or send us a message on Facebook or IG at Chef Culture. We will get right back to you. And come on, babe, come close out.
Thank you.
Come say thank you. Y'all don't know how much we appreciate this, Miramar. All of our business had shut down after the 13th, so we've been furloughed, I guess, even though we own the business. So
Furloughed, sat down.
we were sat down,
Run amok.
So this has been amazing to be able to work with you and share what we love and our passion.
So thank you very much. And if you do need to reach out to us, chefculture@gmail.com.
Yep.
If you have additional questions. We love you, Miramar. Everyone stay safe and take care of your mental health and your headspace during quarantine.
And take care of your family. Cooking is a form of love. Show people you love them. Cook for them.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Later. Although you still got to go back around.
Oh, yeah. That isn't
It's still on. It doesn't turn the camera off. No, it's still on. It's still on.
I'm gonna go do that. I was
Hilarious.
gonna give you I was gonna dap you up, bro.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Special. It's okay. This is the most extended. It's like a movie, like this extended goodbye. I can't find the button.
This is the extra scene, right? This is the extended version of the movie where they play them extra clips.
All right, I got it. Okay, bye everybody.